right, we're all set.
They're allowed to change the program with 3% vote.
Notice of this meeting was advertised in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
She was calling today.
You just shrunk.
Roll call.
Ms. Trueblood? Present. Mr. Cartier?
Present.
Mr. Tompkins?
Here.
Ms. Jackson? Present. Mr. Allen?
Present. This meeting is now called to order. Closed session resolution number 137-2016 authorizes council to go into closed session. My understanding is there is an item for closed session.
Yes, Council President, it's litigation known as in the matter of the Township of Pemberton. It's the affordable housing litigation.
Are there any other items for closed session?
Yeah, same topic as last time. Is there anything new?
We can provide an update.
What was that?
The potential litigation?
Yes. The one you excused yourself from.
Oh, got it.
That's why you didn't know.
That's like what? Yes.
Is there a motion to approve resolution number 137-2016, which will authorize council to go into closed session for potential litigation and affordable housing litigation?
So moved.
Second, for resolution number 137.
Amy, please poll the council.
Mr. Cartier?
Yes.
Ms. Trueblood? Yes. Mr. Tompkins?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson? Yes. Mr. Allen?
Yes. Council will now go into closed session and return after our discussion.
Resolution 143-2016. Resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a letter agreement with the Fair Share Housing Center to resolve declaratory judgment action entitled in the matter of the Township of Pemberton docket number for BURL 1613-15.
I second.
I think it would be prudent if Mr. Baer gives some background on this. Yeah.
Second? Yes. This is the township in July of 2015 filed a declaratory judgment action seeking approval of its affordable housing plan so that it has the ability to continue to spend RCA money as well as other grant monies to rehabilitate homes in the township for people who have qualified as either low or moderate income folks. The Fair Share Housing Center is pursuant to the New Jersey Supreme Court, is a party to every municipality's affordable housing litigation similar to what Pemberton filed, and we reached an agreement with Fair Share Housing Center where it was agreed that the township would have a zero affordable housing obligation going forward, but with a 10-unit rehabilitation project. And if we authorize this agreement, the township will be eligible to continue to expend these monies that it has to help rehabilitate homes that are eligible.
Thank you, Mr. Barrett. Public comment? This portion
We need to vote.
we need to vote on that now?
To add it to the agenda.
Oh.
First.
Okay.
She first, I second already.
Amy, please poll the council.
Mr. Cartier?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson? Yes. Mr. Tompkins?
Yes.
Ms. Trueblood? Yes. Mr. Allen?
Yes. Now public comment. This portion of the meeting allows the public to come forward and comment on any agenda item or just make a general comment. Ms. Phillips?
Good evening, everybody in general.
Good evening.
I got a question. Can you update me more in the Presidential Lakes Fire Company? I know the last time they were saying they were waiting for more the engineer or the inspector to go check everything up in there? Can you update me in there?
Administration, would you care to give another update?
Yes, I spoke to Supervisor of Public Works, who's been working with the company that's on state contract that we're looking at and waiting on a quote to do the project. And they are telling us that they should have us a quote by the end of the month. So by the next council meeting, we should be able to report to council with the numbers that it's going to take through this company to rehabilitate, to redevelop this project.
Can I ask a question? I understand, I was talking to somebody and they said they saw a bunch of people over there, oh God, Monday. I forgot what day of the week it was, sorry. And they were up on the roof and all over the building and stuff. Did you get any kind of preliminary feedback of what they've seen or what they think?
They're just sending structural people in to look to see what is salvageable, what parts we can still use, what we can't, if it all has to come down, if they can keep part of it and add to it, build around it. They're instructed at this point to go the least expensive route with a wow. Now they know what I want. Some of the things that I gave them, they implied that, well, that's going to cost you, and I says, well, you know, we're not just going to throw a cheap pole barn up there. I says, you know, this is a community that's been seeking this for some time. It's right in the center of a community. It's going to serve dual purposes, not only as a fire station, but as a community center, and it should be represented as well as much. And if you see our community centers, we don't just throw up tin shacks, and that's not our intent here. So what we come to you with will be a respectable building that hopefully we can afford.
Okay. The next question I have, Dave, is if they're going to get this report to you sometime in July, and I think you said it was going to go through Public Works as well, is there any way after you receive the report and before the council meeting you could get hold of a couple of us and maybe us council members walk along at the site and see exactly what they're trying to have them point out some of the things in the building that might be issues? Sometimes a picture is worth 1,000 words.
If I get it early enough, I can get you a copy of what they're proposing. I don't know that I'll get them out here to the site to take us on a walking tour at this point.
Well,
they
like
may want to see what our interest is. Are we going to move forward with it, or are we just going to keep calling them out here?
Well, you said Public Works was working with them, right?
Public Works is available, sure.
So maybe one of those folks could walk, you know, Phil or somebody could walk along with us and explain some of the things that they've seen.
Seen as far as what
needs to be changed, what needs to be rebuilt, what needs to be tore down.
That'll all be in the report.
I believe in seeing.
Yeah, but you may see it one way, and the professionals who have written the report and analyzed it are going to see it another way, possibly. And I'm sorry, nothing to say that you can't fix something, but I'm going to lean towards the person that has the professional experience when it comes to structural integrity.
So we're not going to be able to go on site and take a look at this?
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but this is public comment. This isn't council question and comment.
But it's related to...
You have time to question this.
It's related to
I understand.
Mr. President.
Jack, we'll get back to it. Ms. Phillips, do you have any additional questions or comments?
Yes, I do. I have more questions, so I have more comments. In this past election, will be nice if the administration or the township put bigger sign and let the community what is going on for the election, because if I'm not mistaken, I noticed was only a little piece of the paper where the public work or whoever tape it in there. If there is an older person, hardly can see it. You need magnifying glasses to read that. Will be nice if there is big signs in there in the firehouse, because I know there is plenty place in there to put it on it for the general election.
Amy would like to address that question or comment.
Okay.
Ms. Phillips, I actually had those signs placed on the entrance doors that would normally be used for the firehouse. So if somebody still went to the firehouse thinking that was a polling place, it would be on the entrance doors that they would enter. But it's also on everybody that got a sample ballot. the information of the new polling place was on their sample ballot. But the signs themselves, I created them, and I printed them out on the largest paper that I have to my availability, and had Public Works put them on the doors of the old polling place.
Okay,
And
well,
the sample ballots go out to all registered voters,
Yes.
correct?
well, I saw only one in there, because we have a person coming up. That she stated that she's being new moving in the development, and she was looking for the church. When she found the sign up and she went to the voting place, it was too late because after 8 o'clock, we are aware that we close automatic. And she coming up in the parking lot and she said, wait a minute, I'm coming voting. I said, what? It's already area 2, area 3, whatever. Okay, my next comment it is in reference to the empty houses on 200 Tennessee Trail. That house in the past was floating in water. They got a beam mold and everything in that house. But that's not what I'm going to refer to. I'm going to refer. The township is aware there is a swimming pool in that empty house. Anybody can answer me that?
You said there's a swimming pool?
Above ground swimming pool in that empty house. A school is closed right now. That's mean there is kids in the neighborhood. There's nothing for them to do around. And they have to be very careful. Parents got to work. You do not know what a kid can do. But that pool isn't there. I saw the county truck the other day there. I do not know what they were doing there. They were in the yard anyway. That's my concern in the empty house, and not going to accomplish any other things. And I decorated the entrance for the holidays, and I want to thank the township. They went and cleaned it up. I notified the township June 1st and the June 2nd. They went and cut the lawn in the entrance. But I already been put solar lights in there and they were missing. I do not know. I assume the public work removed it when they were working. Apparently they didn't. And it took me about 5 or 6 days to find it out where was the answer in there. Most 7 days, can I say. That's mean I was not able to report the police. I went and bought 2 more lights. The otherwise has been vandalized, the entrance. And those lights in there are there for the flags where we got in the entrance. Each of the flag need a light there. And it's said because where the people can do. Those flags there represented our soldier men and women who fought for our freedom in this country. And this is what we can do as a community, to just pay them. And it's possible that one just notify the police even it's too late. Because I just put new solar lights today back again. I do not know how long they're going to be there. Okay, that's mean in 2 weeks you're going to have an answer more in status in the fire company. I also yesterday in the mail I received this bill donation for the fire company. I'm going to make a statement in this. Number one, our fire company has been closed close to 4 years. It's going to be in September. How can our township asking us for donation when we do not have a building, a truck, an ambulance, or community center? The day our fire company returned to Presidential Lakes, ambulances, fire trucks, tanks, I will do my donation because I always do donations. But for this time, I feel the administration or the rest in Presidential Lakes because we pay in our taxes fire services. And I leave in that and see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you,
Or
Ms.
have a
Phillips.
nice holidays.
Mr. President, I can address that. That is not a
Mr.
township, that is not a township solicited fundraiser. That is solicited by the fire department, or the fire companies. I apologize, sorry, the fire companies. Fire companies paid to have those mailers sent out.
Not the
Solicited
township.
donation, not the township.
Thank you. Seeing no additional hands for public comment. Consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine by the Township Council and will be enacted by one motion. Should a council member wish to discuss a consent agenda item separately, that item can be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the regular agenda. Council, is there any discussion on anything under the consent agenda?
I'd like to pull 139, 2016. And new business purchases over $2,000, number 3 and number 4.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended?
A motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Just the fire.
What?
Sorry. I don't even know if the fire bills were on.
It's not a consent agenda, yeah.
Oh, not. Sorry.
Thank you for looking out, though.
Was there a motion?
Norma motioned.
Did someone second?
I'll second. Or did you did? I couldn't hear you over.
Amy, please poll the council.
Ms. Trueblood?
Yes.
Mr. Cartier?
Yes.
Mr. Tompkins?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Jackie requested to pull resolution number 139.
Right. It's pretty easy. I see the renewal for BM Liquors Incorporated Brown Mill Liquor and Bar, and it has a bunch of conditions on here, and I'm assuming that this is just a template conditions for all of our facilities in town?
No, there are conditions that council put on this license some years ago when there were a bunch of residential complaints.
Okay. So we're just going to continue on.
Actually, Amy and I had a discussion about this prior to the meeting. She's going to look into possibly having these conditions removed.
Okay. Well, there was one specifically I was looking at, if they're not removed, and that would be number 7. And I agree with the intent. Provide adequate security and personnel. Where I have a problem is it says either off-duty police officers or active-duty military personnel. And I would say preferably those 2 groups of people. But you have a lot of reservists and National Guard military that could do this, and you have a lot of other professionals that provide security at events like this that would be more than qualified to do that. So I think we're limiting one of our business owners and some of their abilities to operate within the business community.
Well, they haven't, as been expressed to me, they haven't had any objections to these in all the years that they've had this license, so. Yeah,
I
understand.
reviewed it. I put my 2 cents in, Ken. I think I'm allowed to do that.
You're right. You're entirely correct. You're allowed to do that. And I'm relaying the information that was given to me, Jack.
Okay.
And I am allowed to do that.
Jack, do you have any? Mr. Gonzalez?
Just one comment is that off-duty police officers from Pemberton are not permitted to work at liquor establishments.
And that's not a policy, that's a law. You can't work in a liquor establishment if you're an officer within the town that you work in. And like Councilman Cartier said, these conditions came about as a result of the residents that in this particular situation are in very close proximity to this license, and it has seemed to work. It's curbed the problem. We haven't had the issues since the conditions have been put on, so.
And like I pointed out to Amy earlier, it is a new owner since those
Correct.
conditions were put on. That's why I suggested maybe looking into removing these conditions.
I advise Mr.
Councilman Cartier that I would discuss it with the police department to see if there's still a need to have these conditions, and if they believe they can be removed, we can do a resolution at a later date just removing those conditions.
Police department would be a good start, absolutely.
They're currently doing the inspections on the establishments.
Is there a motion on resolution number 139-2016?
I move to approve 139-2016.
Second.
Amy, please poll the council.
Mr. Cartier?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Tompkins?
Provided the review is completed, yes.
Ms. Trueblood?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Ordinance number 9-2016, an ordinance of the Township of Pemberton to vacate the Paper Street portion of Kentucky Trail and conveying same to abutting property owners, with the township retaining any and all existing rights under the law. This portion of the meeting is now open to the public.
My name is William Oster, and I'm one of the property owners in question. What are the, you said township's right as far as, there's no utility right away there right now, I know. I mean, what other restrictions would be on it?
Just if there were any pre-existing easements, or if that would be it, right? There's not.
Just
This is like the standard form that's required.
okay, like I said,
So like,
I know I had done
yeah.
road dates, and there was nothing
But we didn't do it, right?
there, so I just,
To allow the township the right to enter the property if need be.
which means I have to provide a gate then.
Provide a gate.
Yeah, and if I wanted to fence it, move my fence over, now I'm going to give the township right, I have to provide a gate for them to get in and out of it, correct? Even though there's other ways into the pit?
I don't believe we were seeking that in this ordinance, because
Well, Dave, we
we have
retain-
other access into the property.
It just says, again, this is just like consistent with state law, that the township shall retain all lawful rights to enter, inspect, and make repairs to existing utilities above and below ground where applicable.
It only applies to anything that is existing. It doesn't apply to...
But I didn't understand that part.
It's just standard legal language
Okay.
that if
Right.
there are no utilities in there,
No.
there's no reason for us to ever want to come in there.
Okay. I just wanted that cleared up, I wasn't sure.
It's okay.
Thank you.
They
You're
think they call
welcome.
that legalese? Is that what it is?
Well, but let's say, there you go. I mean, hypothetically, let's say a utility company wanted to go through there for some, well, we're not a utility company, but, well, if, whatever. Theoretically, there could be, in one day, that could happen, but it's, yes. The township is willing to work, we'd always work with you in this, there's nothing, yeah. Yeah. Blame the state statutes for that.
Seeing no other hands, this portion of the meeting is now closed to the public. Council discussion. Council, is there anything further that you would like to discuss about this ordinance? We did discuss it at the, not previous meeting, the meeting before that.
You know, the only thing I have, Jason, is do we want to look at maybe doing this in the future for Tennessee as well, looking at the map?
Well, I think what happened in this case, the resident actually contacted the township about this, and I think administration said they wouldn't be surprised if we started seeing a few more of these in the near future. We're not in the future.
Yeah, just trying to be proactive.
Yeah. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance number 9-2016?
I'll make that motion.
I second the motion to adopt ordinance number 9, 2016.
Amy, please poll the council.
Mr. Tompkins?
Yes.
Ms. Trueblood? Yes. Mr. Cartier?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Jack, under new business, you requested to pull 11A3.
Yes, this looks like it's for appraisal for acquisition of 42 and 46 Juliustown Road. I just have one question. Have we approached the owners of these two buildings and let them know that what we're doing?
Yes, we have, it's 42. We are in negotiations with the owners of the property, both properties actually, but we can't actually come to a number and agree to purchase the property till we know the value of the property. We know what they were asking for it. That was way too much. We gave them an estimate of what we think it's worth, and they want to make sure, obviously, that they're getting fair market value. But in the other hand, we're required to do an appraisal to make sure that it's fair market value, that we're not paying over that.
Mr. Council President, if I may, also the quote from the professional includes both 42 and 46 because we asked for a quote for both, but this particular contract over 2,000 is strictly only for the cost of 42.
Okay.
I understand you can do 46 because it's under the cap. I understand that.
Well, no, it's not. That the other one, we're not there yet with negotiations. We are there with 42. So we want to move forward with that and get them a real number so that we can, present that to them and continue on that. And we're continuing to negotiate with 46, but we didn't want to do the appraisal yet until we.
42 is TCs, correct?
JCs. Yep, correct.
Okay. I don't shop there, so that's my questions for that one.
Is there a motion to approve new business, community development, 11A3?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second. Oh.
Amy, please poll the council.
Mr. Cartier?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Tompkins?
No.
Ms. Trueblood?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Jack, you also requested to pull new business 11. A4?
Number 4.
Yes.
This looks like appraisal for 19 South Lakeshore Drive. This is the property next to Reflection Park, is that correct?
That's correct. It's the resident adjacent to Reflections Park, and it's the lot between Reflections Park and the shopping center.
Okay.
And we've been going back and forth for probably 5 years or better with the owner on the lot to try and negotiate a deal to purchase that. And I was contacted recently by the owner of the lot, who also owns the house, and he wants to sell both to the township, and he's actually looking to sell it to us for less than what he's actually been offered for the property and what he would sell it for. But he believes that the town should own this, and it would enhance the park, which is actually conducive to our master plan and what we had planned all along for that particular area in that park.
So that would be utilized as extending the park?
Yes, yeah, our goal is to purchase the property, remove the house, extend the park out further, and I believe the master plan calls for potentially doing like canoe rentals and kayak rentals and just,
And I'm asking questions because I've never heard about this before until this come out. And the property across the street would still be a grassy field?
It would probably get utilized for parking. We make access in there, we can pull a car in there and park and then walk across the street, as opposed to Caddy Corner, which is the old gas station, which is the municipal parking for the park right now. So we would add additional parking in the area.
Answers my question.
Is there a motion to approve community development, new business 11A4?
So moved.
I second the motion to approve.
Amy, please poll the council.
Mr. Cartier?
Yes.
Ms. Trueblood?
Yes.
Mr. Tompkins?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Engineers report.
No.
Permit taxes.
You missed
Oh,
B.
I'm sorry. The New Jersey Firemen's Association membership application for Thomas Chimanji with the
Yamanani.
with the Pemberton Township Volunteer Fire Company. Council, is there a motion to approve this membership application?
I motion to approve the membership application for the Firemen's Association membership for Thomas Germani.
I'll second.
Amy, please poll the council.
Ms. Trueblood?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Tompkins?
Yes.
Mr. Cartier?
Abstain.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Don't forget about the other resolution.
Wasn't that added to consent
I
agenda?
thought it was just added to the agenda.
We added it to the
Okay.
consent.
All right.
We added the 143 to the
Yeah.
consent. Yeah.
Okay.
That was the motion.
Engineer report. Council, is there any discussion? I have one question since no one else. Administration on page 2 of the engineer's report, it mentions that the contractor indicated that he'll be back on site June 9th for the Country Lakes dams to complete the remedial paving.
Yeah, that work's been done. The dam is complete, and we'll be expecting final payment request and for the next meeting.
Facebook all over the place.
Moving on,
Plus I drove over.
the bill list. Is there a motion to approve the bill list dated June 10th, 2016?
I motion to approve the bill list dated June 10th, 2016.
Is there a second?
I will second.
Amy, please poll the council.
Ms. Trueblood?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Tompkins?
Yes.
Mr. Cartier?
Yes, with the exception of all bills related to the fire department on page 5 and 6.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Solicitor's report.
I have nothing other than to say, I just wanted to supplement on the discussion about the affordable housing agreement that was approved tonight. I just want to add that that will also be subject to court approval, and there'll be a hearing probably in August where the court will have to approve that agreement. I just wanted to let council and the public know that as well. And that will be a noticed hearing and advertised, so you may hear about it in the future as it gets near the time of the hearing, but I just didn't want you to be surprised by that. That's all I have.
Thank you. Administration.
In hopes of trying to get out of here by 7:30 and breaking a new record, I'll keep it short. I can't not leave here without praising Public Works for the phenomenal job they're doing on the road program. Yesterday they put down over 600 tons of asphalt. That was over 100 tons more than they've done previously in their best day. So, I mean, they're really slamming it, and if you go out on Ridgeview, you'll see the fine job they're doing out there right now. We hope to have that done, or at least just about done next week. I think they're scheduled to pave next Tuesday, but they're really slamming it, and you know they're all stepping up in all the departments. And the Bayberry Park is underway. The construction there should be starting. They're going over a few contractors now on a few items that will come in, like playground equipment and part of the dock, floating dock that's in that grant. That's all the grant that we got from the county, if you recall. So we are going through that process. And I would like to comment on the fire donations. I know Councilman Cartier did mention that that is not a township donation, and he's correct. That is a fire company donation that's done and has always been done for years here in the township. That's used to be done by each individual company. It's now done by the Pemberton Fire Company, the one company we have in the township. And these guys and gals do a tremendous job, and they work hard with what we give them in our budget. And you know what our budgets are, what we give them, and you know that doesn't cover all their expenses. So they go out there and hustle. They do bingo, they do fundraisers, and they do these mailers. And I encourage every one of you to donate to the fire companies. We do have a fire truck in every part of the township. There's no fire truck parked next to my house, but if I pick up the phone and say there's a fire at my house, there will be a fire truck there. There will be an ambulance there. We provide the service, and it's excellent service, so it's nothing less. And that's basically what that donation was. It's a private donation.
Thank you. I'd just like to thank administration for sending over the reval process, the update. I'll just give a few of those numbers that were in the update. To date, 3,771 residential inspections have been complete. Presidential Lakes, Lake Valley, Oak Pines, Pineland Village, and Pemberton Heights are done, and ongoing, Browns Mills and Country Lakes. So again, thank you for that update. Council comments?
I'll start.
Jack?
I, with many of the other council members, was at the high school graduation this week. I gotta say it was phenomenal. It was very well done. What really impressed me, it's something I've always known and I've said many times, but one time during the program they had presentation awards and scholarships. And you would think with a school our size, 40 or 50 kids standing up, and it looked like almost, I don't know, quarter of the class received some kind of award, and that says something. And then I think the superintendent had mentioned that they gave out over $250,000 worth of scholarships.
I think it was over $4 million.
Or $4 million, excuse me, thank you. Our kids are phenomenal. We've got some really intelligent, really talented kids in Pemberton. You hear some rumors, and I don't know where the rumors come from. I've been lucky. My daughter graduated Pemberton, and we were really happy with the education she received. The other thing I wanted to mention is, Amy, I was wondering, we have a marquee out front. Is there any way to advertise council meetings on the Friday before a council meeting on that marquee?
I can put the request in. There's a form that I have to put in, and if there's somebody that's already had a request in for something to be put on there, I think it's like a first come, first served.
I know it would, but it's just, somebody had mentioned it to me and it really sounded like a really good idea. I was driving downtown last night. I noticed the street lights on Trenton are still out, and yes, they're decorative, but they're the only street lights on that section of town. And Dave, I agree. I live on the west end of town. I receive my fire support primarily from Goodwill, and they are phenomenal. I know if there was going to be a fire, those men and women would be there in a heartbeat to take care of what needs to be taken care of. And I was going to mention something about PL Fire, but never mind. That's all I have.
Ms. Jackson?
Ditto for what Councilman Tompkins said about the graduation. Also, I noticed there's still some signs up from election time that maybe code enforcement, whoever has to...
Mine?
If they're on private property,
It's not.
it's not our issue, but if they're out there in the public right of way.
I saw one I see every day because I live there in Lake Valley, is right there on that section. Oops, you don't go that way, but that's there.
But it's not mine.
No, it's not yours. It's not yours. Not yours, it's all. Other than that, that's all I have. Just be cautious. Summer, like Miss Phillips said, the kids are out, so just be cautious. That's all I have. Thank you. Have a good night.
Mr. Cartier?
I have to agree with Mr. Tompkins. It was delight to sit out there and watch one after another, after another, after another, those kids stand up. And I think she went on for at least a half hour reading awards and lit one after the other. It was just something to see. That's all I have. I had something else, but it's not worth it. Nah, I was just going to call somebody out from graduation.
I was just going to say, how about how many of our kids stood up that were going into the military?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you
There
don't
was
see
a
that
lot
number
this year.
at schools like that. That impressed me too. So many
Was a lot
kids
this
that were
year.
signed up for the military.
Miss Trueblood has somebody in her
My
family.
grandbaby.
Patricia.
She's going into the Air Force. Yeah, same as we were saying, I was also looking at all the athletics, how not only scholastic, but look academia, but look at all the hearing everything, the tennis from football to, I hear, but just listening to those numbers of wins, and that was very phenomenal for me. Also, let's also keep in memory all those families and lost in Orlando's tragedy, and that we hear about it, and we just have to always remember to just keep those families and victims and that whole tragedy in Orlando, keep it in prayer always.
Thank you. So at the last council meeting, we had somebody stand up and assert that this council is only active in the community around election time. Usually I allow people to state their opinion without going back and forth. However, as this year's council president, I felt obligated to defend this council, as I know everyone up here is deeply rooted in the community and active in some way. So I'd like to say or apologize publicly if I offended anybody by my comments at the last meeting. But again, I did feel obligated to, as the council president, to defend our council. I was at the MUA meeting last week, and they wanted me to report that they received another good audit with no recommendations, and they also wanted me to report that Charlie Vester, the previous administrator of operations, is now retiring, and they received a new administrator by the name of Billy Butler. Last Saturday, I was at the Pineland Success Center for their grand opening and family day. They had a ton of games, tours, free food, and cooking workshops for the community. Norma, I was informed that your church secretary was there. The director, Jennifer Rizzo, said that the center is doing good. They've had a lot of people come in, so that's good news. Just like to welcome a new business that we have in the township, Drills for Skills. I was at their grand opening, and it's a facility that's geared towards mentoring kids and developing their athletic abilities. So welcome to the community. And that's all that I have.
I actually heard raves about that place just the other day. The night of graduation actually had more than one.
Very good. For anyone that doesn't know, that's Omar Stenney, Miss Diane Stenney's son that opened up the facility.
I wish him the best of luck.
Yep. Too bad I didn't know about it.
Are there
Thank
any
you
other
very much.
comments?
Nope.
Hearing none, motion to adjourn?
Second. Don't you look